TV Channel 4, Pittsburgh, 9 o'clock.
This is Terry Bradshaw, quarterback. Pittsburgh Steelers good enough to have led the Steelers to 2 straight Super Bowl victories. He does it with much help from this man. 88, Lynn Swan, the extraordinary wide receiver. And from this man, number 20, Rocky Blyer, the running back and the blocking back. And how he likes to lead the way for this man, the great Franco Harris, the AFC's second leading active rusher. But tonight, all 4 must cope with a tremendous defensive line, led by this fellow, number 86, Cedric Hardman of the 49ers, and by number 53, the veteran Tommy Hart, who can come at you and at you. And by this man, the budding superstar, Cleveland Elam. Watch what Elam does to number 17, Jim Hart. The 49ers against the Steelers. Yes, Jimmy Hart wears number 17, and he took it from Cleveland Elam. But once there was another number 17, a spindly-legged quarterback, one of the best of his time. And he took more than his fair share of knocks. His name, Dandy Don Meredith. And Mr. Meredith, welcome back.
Coach, it's good to be back, and I've missed you.
I didn't know you cared. Yeah. Don Meredith, it's nice to have him back where he belongs.
Stand by, 15 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras and videotape.
Ready with your opening graphics. Stand by, Howard. Here we come, Frank. Ready, Don.
Stand by, audio, your opening music, and roll tape.
Take tape.
From Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A capacity crowd anticipated on a warm, humid night for the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is brought to you by light beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard for the start of our 8th year. 8 years of ABC's Monday Night Football. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the San Francisco 49ers. About the Steelers, everybody knows that this is a team of manifest strength. The question, are they prepared to play up to that strength in the wake of a simply chaotic preseason? Why chaotic? Simple. The great middle linebacker, Jack Lambert, a holdout, just returned recently. Is he ready? Mel Blount, the magnificent quarterback, just came into camp a few days ago. He had been in the act of suing his coach, Chuck Noll, because of statements made by Chuck during a recent lawsuit. And then, of course, Ernie Holmes, who said just 3 days ago, I can't hack it, and walked out of camp. Came back the next day. This is the kind of thing that's plagued Chuck Noll, and in their last preseason game, they were crushed by the Dallas Cowboys 30-0. But the talent is there. Question, as I said, are they prepared to show it? They remember vividly their terrible start of a year ago when they were 1-4, and then came on to get into the playoffs. The 49ers are another team in chaos. Why? Change of ownership. Joe Thomas taking over as general manager. He always sweeps clean. The fans displeased by the displacement of the brilliant rookie coach of a year ago, Monty Clark. And San Francisco apparently relying on its brilliant front 4 and also on 2 magnificent running backs. So we've got a game tonight that could produce a surprise, though Pittsburgh remains the overwhelming favorite. To amplify, Don Meredith.
Coach, talking about the Pittsburgh team, I think one of the things to remember is that these guys were the champions, and they did it for 2 years in a row. And in my opinion, last year's performance I thought it was their best. Their last 10 ball games that they played were simply sensational. 28 points were scored against them. They set all kinds of records, 5 shutouts, that sort of thing. You mentioned the fact that they do have good personnel, and they certainly do. But you see that happen a lot. When teams get on top, what are they going to do? And they have some problems in bringing it together. Who's going to do this and who's going to do that? When you have the big guys holding out, they're into contract squabbles, could be some problems. They didn't play well in preseason, but I think they'll play well tonight. There's a pal of mine that I now treat with a great deal more respect. He's now into your basic Hall of Fame, and he has his ring on. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Don.
How you been?
How is the real world?
It's tough out there, man. They don't take any prisoners.
They sure don't.
That's right.
They won't take any tonight either. We have seen some of the players already in our tees, but the key to the Steelers, as far as I'm concerned, is keeping Terry Bradshaw healthy. He has a way of getting unhealthy over the course of the season. Last year, he missed 2 games and parts of 4 more. And, of course, for the 49ers, Jim Plunkett has really not played back to the great form he had when he first came up as a Heisman Trophy winner with New England. But can he do it? Well, it's important. It'll be a big test tonight because the Steelers really come at you. He has a great runner, too. We talk about Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer. Dell Williams set an all-time San Francisco 49er rushing record last year, and that included former backs for the 49ers, Hugh McElhaney, Joe Perry, John Henry Johnson. We have a lot of offense tonight and some great defense, and we will be back ready for the kickoff with our newest colleague, Don Meredith, right after this. From the Goodyear Blimp, America hovered high over Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A capacity crowd here at Three Rivers Stadium. Opening season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go against the San Francisco 49ers. The Steelers will kick off. Roy Gerella will kick. Deep is Paul Hofer, number 36 for the 49ers. There he is, standing at the goal line. Gerella. It's a good kick. Hofer bobbles at the 7. Picks it up and is nailed from above the 13-yard line. Tony Dungy hustling down there. So San Francisco, who had trouble in their preseason, starts in trouble with their first regular season game. And there is the starting offensive unit. Their problem, of course, is going to be protecting Jim Plunkett against an incredible pass rush.
It's absolutely true. The Pittsburgh front 4 has become legendary, and this year, well, there's a new Mean Joe Green. For 2 years saddled with a terrible arm, but now utterly healthy again.
The ball is at the 14-yard line. Single setback. Now we have the Dell Williams, 24, Wilbur Jackson in, and getting the call is Jackson. He gets out over the 15-yard line. A gain of a little less than 3. It'll be second down, long 7. And there is the front 4 that we spoke of. Joe Green has slimmed down, Don. Taken off 11 pounds.
So quick, Frank.
And how about Jack Ham? Is he the best, Howard?
One of them, certainly, together with Lambert. They're an incomparable pair, really. They've proved it.
You saw Jim Allen, right cornerback. Mel Blunt is back here, and he is in uniform tonight. We might see action from Mel Blunt. Second down, long 7. Plunkett back. Firing in his feet to Dell Williams, and he has the first down. He's out to the 25-yard line.
Nice little slide in there.
Just a little pull-up before he got to the cornerback, Jim Allen, who made the stop.
Frank, you got to the nub of the matter. Monty Clark, famed as an offensive line coach with the Dolphins, who was the head coach a year ago, did wonders with a San Francisco offensive line that is not highly regarded. We've got to see what that Pittsburgh defensive front 4 does.
Wide receiver, Jim Lash, goes top of your screen, now out of your screen. The other wide receiver, number 18, Gene Washington, bottom of your screen. On 1st and 10, handoff, Dell Williams. And Dell Williams was nailed after a gain of a yard and a half. Take number 64, Steve Furness, the right tackle for the Steelers, who, while Ernie Holmes did walk out of camp this past weekend, he is back, was only gone a short while. Steve Furness had actually beaten him out of that position. Ernie Holmes, with a lot of personal problems in the offseason, came back not in the shape that he wanted to be to play football. So we're watching Furness at right tackle. Second down and 8. All right. White penetrated, but was he drawn off?
I don't think he was. Looked like it was just one of those quick starts. Plunkett changed up his count a little bit. Let's see. Yep.
Chuck Noll, the very successful head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tough cookie. Came in here, rebuilt this team from the bottom up. The 71 draft, a classic draft. Provided a number of stars, exceptional players. They formed the nucleus of the subsequent building to make the Steelers Super Bowl champions 2 years in a row.
Would you believe his first year, he won 1 game, lost 13. Second down and 3. Ball at the 32-yard line. This is Del Williams following Jackson, right side, and bowling ahead out to the close to the 35-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. He had to just get over that 35-yard marker. Del Williams, all-time 49er rusher, in his 4th year out of the University of Kansas. Great year last year.
Frank, you mentioned Jim Allen, number 45, playing cornerback for the Steelers. Might be well to watch him closely tonight. He's pinch hitting for Mel Blount, who has but recently returned, as Frank told you. He'll be under tremendous pressure from the San Francisco receivers.
And principally receiver Gene Washington. The best the 49ers have to offer. Third down, 1 yard to go. Jackson, and he's thrown backwards, but I believe he had the first down. The entire front 4 of the Steelers was there. L.C. Greenwood, Mike Wagner coming up from safety and drilling.
Wagner was not one of those guys that had a little difficulty in signing his contract. He was, I don't think he actually signed, Howard, you may know this, until about a week or so ago.
That's true. It's one of Martin's night. He's become a very consistent player, Mike Wagner. Very underpublicized through the years.
First down. Don't be confused by the yard marker. If you see it, it says third, but it's first down. Flags all over the lot. Plunkett with the play action fake. Over the middle to Del Williams, complete. The flags are down. Williams has the first down. Out to the 47-yard line. The flag is down.
Frank, I think that type of play is the kind of play that San Francisco, you know, they haven't scored a touchdown in 3 ball games. Let's see what we've got here. All sides against the 49ers, but it's been proven too many times that you really can't sustain that solid run, in particularly inside the tackle against the Steelers. The little play action fake that they had to get Del Williams out there. They've got some good receivers. These guys have got some speed out on the outside. Of course,
Hey, Bill.
Washington.
Offside, number 64, offense.
That's Kenny Meyer, long-term assistant coach with the Jets, brought over to L.A. by Chuck Knox, and now the head man at San Francisco in a tough spot, Giff.
All right, the first down is first and 15. Ball at the 31-yard line. Washington, motion, play action, fake again. And, all right. Oh, no. Plunkett gets out of the pocket. Donnie Shell had picked up his principal receiver. He tried to go to Mitchell on the checkoff and incomplete. Donnie Shell, we might point out, is in that defensive secondary. He is the captain of the special teams. He is one big hitter. And he is in there because Glenn Edwards has, would you believe, a turf toe?
Yep.
Delineate, Howard.
Tell me about a turf toe, will you?
Well, it's a new term in football. You play on this artificial turf. You practice on it. Suddenly, one of your toes begins to get seared underneath the toe. It begins to swell, and it begins to bend.
Ew.
He's got a turf toe.
Ew.
Second down and 15. Led the pack that time. Dwight White unloaded. I'll tell you, Steelers, when they were introduced, had they played the game right there, they would have beaten anyone. They stormed onto the field. They leaped all over. It looked like college football rejuvenated right here. They're fired.
False start, number 77, up.
Gene Barrett, left offensive tackle, false start.
Gene Barrett there, no Fort Worth boy, as a matter of fact. You didn't know that, did you, Frank?
No, I didn't.
He went to high school over in Dallas, W.T. White. So I'll tell you that, Howard.
Second down and 20. Watch that front 4 unload now. They disregard the run completely. They'll just give up all lanes and go for Plunkett. The draw play, Wilbur Jackson loses a yard.
That's probably the only running play they do wait for, Frank, in a situation like that. It's the second down and long, so they say, well, we're not going to run off tackle. They'll key for the draw. That time they key for it really well.
Usually leave one guy home to look for that.
and a screen. You know, the screens and the draws, and they say, well, okay, it may go over the middle when it's that second and long. Those are the spots that are usually open, and the good defensive teams know how to close those off.
In Frank's time, they always looked for the screen. When Frank played Cleveland, the screen to Jimmy Brown. Looking for it didn't help.
It was automatic. Nothing helped against him, Howard. Third down and 20. Tough spot. And flag goes down as time has run out. The 30-second clock indicating 0 at either ends of the end zone.
Better have a good reason for that, because if you don't, that's a real, I think, a real key or a real clue to an offensive team. When you go up there and you kind of stutter, particularly the first part of a ball game, they look for that quarterback. They say, all right, let's get this thing going. Now, I don't know what the thing happened, but if they don't have a good reason, it'll be trouble.
And if they keep the ball, Pittsburgh's going to score. It's third down and 25.
You are a clever devil.
Jackson, big draw. And he had 25 to go. The Steelers gave up a few. They didn't care. Jim Allen made the stop, and it'll be fourth down. San Francisco will have to turn it over. That'll bring out Tom Whittam, number 13 for the 49ers. Double duty now. Steve Nickemeyer is gone as their place kicker, and Tom Whittam, their fine punter, is now also their place kicker. Here he is, good athlete. Jack Delaplane is deep, number 35. Also back there, number 88, Lynn Swan. Now, we haven't seen much of him back there, but he had 14.1 yard average as a rookie. Oh, and it's over Whittam's head. He's in trouble.
Lucky to get that one off.
He made a super play.
You bet.
Really this is Swan.
Swan's going the wrong way.
And how about that? I told you Tom Whittam was a fine athlete. He had to be to get that punt off under pressure. We'll be back when the Steelers take over in just a moment. Jim Plunkett came from New England last year to lead the 49ers out of the wilderness. They came up with an 8-6 mark, but he has not been the Plunkett that they anticipated, nor the Plunkett that went into pro football those many years ago at New England. Steelers, first possession, quarterback, of course, Terry Bradshaw. Setbacks, Blyer and Harris. Quick handoff. Goes to Blyer, and boy, he is nailed. Tussling in there is Dave Washington. Cleveland Elam.
This is Whittam you mentioned, Frank. Look at this stab. That's a heck of a grab right there. The ball was really centered over his head. Made a good move. Had they had any kind of a rush on it, they'd have been able to block it. Even got a good bounce, and then you see Lynn take off, kind of go in the other direction. As Randy Cross, that was the center on that one, centered it a little bit high.
Second down and 9. The ball at the 36-yard line. Franco Harris, single setback behind Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw
right in the hole.
Drills to Lynn Swan. John Stallworth. Yeah. It looked like Swan because that's how Swan catches so many balls. John Stallworth makes a diving catch.
See how quickly Bradshaw got rid of that, threw right to the spot where Swan was supposed to be, Don.
Harris, yeah, that's such a good pattern when you got guys like that have that speed. It's an old pattern, quick down and in sort of thing. It's right throwing through the slots. You see Stallworth very quickly come from the left. You're throwing between that linebacker. And there it was. His ball was a little bit low, but he made a great catch. Here we go, back action.
And both the Steelers receivers can grab balls like that. On first and 10, ball from the 49-yard line. Franco Harris, left side. Gets about 3 down to the San Francisco 49ers 48-yard line.
Now you saw Cedric Hartman, 86, in on that tackle. This is where this game will be won or lost by either team. The Steelers' offensive line tonight has some youth in it. 74, Ray Penny, has to go against Cedric Hartman. It's going to be a tough night, probably, for him. And then, of course, Larry Brown, the former tight end, has to go against Tommy Hart. Since Brown is new at the position, the tackle position, it'll be interesting to watch that matchup.
Second down and 3. Terry adjusts Harris. Little quick toss, and Franco bulls into Washington and carries him for a couple of yards. It's going to be third down and 4.
We talked about Dave Washington, Dandy, when you weren't with us in Oakland a couple of weeks ago. The young man, very tall, 6'6", showed very well with Buffalo. And Buffalo, as you know, Don, has needed defense for a number of years. We still can't figure out why Buffalo ever let Washington get away.
You're going to have some players like that every time. Some of them get away, they just don't happen to fit in from one team to another.
The fourth wide receiver is in, Frank Mark Lewis, number 43. Bradshaw back, looking, finds Lewis. He had him open. He was in front of Mel Phillips, but he could not hold on.
Every way you look on this Pittsburgh team, you see superb athletes. Despite the miss on that pass, Lewis is one of those out of Grambling College. As we look at this in replay, Don.
Well, it's a third down situation. I think that was the one before. He's just trying to get it out there quick. He needed about 3 yards. The ball was on target, and that's just taking your eye off of it. I keep telling Michael, I said, Michael, my little boy, I said, don't take your eye off those balls, and that's what he did that time.
Bobby Walden unloads one into the end zone. The 49ers' second possession will begin at their 20-yard line. There he is, 39-year-old Bobby Walden just unloaded on one. We'll be returning to Three Rivers Stadium in just a moment. Lynn Swan just put the Pittsburgh Steelers in good field position, taking a punt on his own 28-yard line. He escaped 2 sure tackles and gives the Steelers a 1st and 10. They'll move from their own 46. Single setback, Franco Harris. And he slips. Terry Bradshaw will have to eat the ball, and down he goes at the 43-yard line. Tommy Hart pressuring him. Let's look at it again. You'll see some acrobatics.
Well, he got a pretty good block from Delaplane right there at the beginning to spring him the first time. He comes back around. He really did all this on his own. You'll see Skip Vanderbunt, number 52, is the guy that finally catches up with him. The only way you can explain it, that's just individual talent. The guy just got those moves, and he's been doing it for a long time.
He does have that. Second down, 14. Ball marked just inside the 43-yard line. Bradshaw flooding backs right. Isolated coverage, and he throws incomplete.
Well,
intended for John Stallworth, and a flag is down.
That was a late flag, Frank, but I do think they're going to call some kind of interference play over there.
Ball was bobbled, and then McGill, number 49, came in to help on the coverage.
Frank, on average, I don't think you're going to see much throwing. Let's look at it in isolation first. Watch Stallworth.
You know, both backs were flooded here, and that ordinarily would give single coverage. You see Bruce Taylor there, Don, but McGill got back over there and popped him.
Well, they didn't call it. What is that? Let's hear about that.
Number 82 goes out of bounds, returns to be the first to touch the football, loss of down.
Oh, you sure got me on that one, by golly.
That's an interesting call. You don't see that too often.
That's an exact call, though. You cannot go out of bounds, come back, and touch the ball.
Frank, I don't think you'll see too many throws from Bradshaw to the backs coming out of the backfield tonight. The Pittsburgh game plan is to keep them back there against that front line of San Francisco to pass block for him.
I think you will see him go to Benny Cunningham, the tight end. Who's a good one, the number 1 draft choice. He was open that last play coming across the middle.
Have a speed burner in there, number 37, Laverne Smith.
Look at that. Get it up, get it up.
It is not handled by Laverne Smith.
And Tommy Hart had a little smack for old Terry back there in the backfield, too.
I think Laverne was troubled by the turf toe.
The turf toe. I was doing a little, you know how I am with my research, and I was reading about Tommy Hart. That cat ran a 9.700 and a 48 flat 440 in college. That's moving along.
That's right, but he was 195 pounds.
No, he was 213 when he came in. You were close. He's now up to about 250.
There's Bobby Walden. Deep is Steve Rivera for the 49ers. A single safety, they're going to come for it.
Whoa, they almost got it.
Rivera still has time, but he misjudged the ball, had to make a diving catch to save it. 31-yard punt, and the 49ers almost got a piece of Bobby Walden that time. Bruce Ilya in there pressuring the 39-year-old Bobby Walden.
Bobby had his feelings hurt when he was put on one of those waiver things. They have all that, but I don't understand it either, but they slide him in and out trying to pass him through waivers. He said, you can't do that. I'm going to go home to Cairo, Georgia. And they got him. He said, I saw Jarrell trying to punch it. I bought my own ticket to come back.
Feelings were hurt even more. Nobody picked him up.
That's right.
First and 10. Ball at the 28-yard line. Del Williams, single setback for the 49ers. Plunkett.
Look out, intercept. There you go.
Number 45, Jim Allen, picks off a pass intended for Kenny Harrison, and Jimmy Allen has to be happy. He's under a lot of pressure, Howard, as you mentioned earlier, replacing Mel Blount.
That's exactly right, and Dandy called it even before it happened. Why? Well, Dandy hit the nub of it a little earlier when he said Plunkett was being tentative. And that's been Plunkett's problem as we look at this play again.
Jimmy
and the ball hung in the air much too long.
Yeah, it wasn't even a good pass for Allen to catch. As a matter of fact, he had to make some effort on it. Jimmy is a little tentative. You know, he comes back. That ball, actually, he threw it pretty well, but it was not close.
1st and 10 Steelers. Ball at their own 37-yard line. Franco Harris tries it up the middle. Collects about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7, just over the 40-yard line.
There he is, happy. The confidence obviously buoyed by that interception.
I love you, Mom.
Give us a good smile there, Jimmy. That's it.
Think about all the lip readers out there in America. You got to be careful what you say on the sideline.
Well, I remember a fellow when you told the world we were number 1.
Yeah, well, he wasn't talking with his lips.
2nd down and 7. Seesaw game if you've just joined us. No score. Harris, right side, and the 49er defense. A lot better than we watched a couple of weeks ago. Slowing down Harris for a gain of 2. It was Bill Cook, number 76, along with Mel Phillips. It'll be 3rd down now and 4.
That's a guy I don't ever want to have any trouble with. We used to call him Old Arrowhead. Remember, Dandy?
Let's call him Mr. Holmes then.
Ernie Holmes called me up one day, said, I'm getting married. Will you come to my wedding? I said, Ernie, just tell me the time, the place, I'll be there. I don't want any trouble with that fellow.
If you need a bride, I'll try to find somebody.
Wide receivers now for the Steelers. Frank Lewis is in, 43. John Stallworth, 88. Lynn Swan. They'll go to the air. This time he does not drop the ball. 1st down Steelers. Mel Phillips way off in his coverage.
I was saying, as Lewis dropped the earlier throw, which was to him when he was all alone, that he was one of that great draft of 1971 that created the hardcore, the cadre of what was to become a truly great football team.
The what?
Cadre,
Yeah.
C-A-D-R-E.
Always been troubled, Howard, Don, with injuries. Frank Lewis never has really come up to the expectations, but he still has that potential. Major burden in life.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Lynn Swan. Another Steeler 1st down.
The ball that was a good catch. Let's watch it here. This ball is really thrown very hard. He's down about a 15-yard sideline. That's a hard pass for a quarterback to throw a little bit behind it, but you see Lynn's right there, and that's so much fun, playing a guy like that. He's got those kind of moves. He can turn. Another look at it. You can't cover him like that, Howard. If you get man-to-man, man, you just can't cover it.
1st down and 10 for the Steelers inside the 30-yard line of the 49ers. Still no score. Handoff. Franco Harris up the middle, and the big fullback pulls forward for about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Bill Cook, who was playing for the injured Jimmy Webb, at left tackle, was in on that stop. And, we watched Lynn Swan beat Tony Leonard a moment ago. It's been 16 years since anyone played that corner spot for the 49ers.
Jimmy Johnson did for all those years. He's a certain Hall of Famer. Truly great player.
2nd down and 7. Harris, quick toss with motion. And Harris finds plenty of running room out of the left side. Will not get the 1st down, but he's down about the 22-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Bruce Taylor, Ralph McGill in on the stop.
I don't think Franco followed O'Penny as well as he could that time. Penny was out there in pretty good shape, number 74, pulling from that tackle position. He was right on him a little bit too close. Give him a little bit more time, he could have played off that block rather than on top of it.
Penny, a 2nd-round draft choice a year ago. Played center at the University of Washington. Now in the offensive tackle position. Excellent blocker on the run, they say, Don.
He got
Not so good on the pass.
3rd down and 2. Big man gets the call, and he does not get the 1st down, I do not believe. He was nailed right there at the 20-yard line.
I like to see him go for it down here, and I would definitely be a losing coach because all the winning coaches always kick their field goals, but this is kind of fun. Opening day crowd, I know the crowd wants him to go for it too. It means I'm just a basic fan.
You know what John McVay of the Giants did on a 4th down yesterday?
What did he do?
4th and a half yard, the 1st quarter.
Well, he's a coach in a coach in a position where you got nothing to lose, but they're listening to Dandy Don Meredith. He's got a special line to Chuck Noll. They are apparently going for it.
And it's not an easy yard. It's a long yard.
I'll bet you they go right over that new guy, old Billy Cook, number 74, if he's in there. Let's see.
Cook, defensive left tackle for the 49ers.
I was wrong again.
And Harris picks along along the outside of the left side. It finds the opening and gets the first down for the Steelers. Keeps it alive. Seconds ticking off here in the first quarter. The Steelers will not get another playoff. Pittsburgh fans, they love it. Steelers had their problems first part of the quarter, but they moved the ball well here towards the end of the first quarter. And we'll be returning to Three Rivers Stadium in just a moment.
It's the man who made the decision to go for it, and the decision was right in this case because they made it. Chuck's been under fire in his time for decisions made, as in the Super Bowl game against Dallas when he eschewed the punt.
Nor did he kick.
No.
First and 10, ball at the 18. Steelers going on fourth down, picking up the first. Franco Harris over the left side. And oddly enough, they're running a lot over there. We talked a lot about Ray Penny. What we haven't said is the reason he's in there is that John Cobb, the great tackle for the Steelers, has a bad ankle, and he will not play tonight, we are told, and he has the Steelers' longest consecutive game streak, so John Cobb will lose that streak tonight at 112 games played.
Sam Davis also out, Frank.
Right, they're trouble. Second down and 6. Ball inside the 15. Quick fist. Good move, Harris. Look at him turn the corner. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. There was a block by Penny. He now took 2 of them. Oh, boy.
Told you he's great blocking on the run, Dandy.
Well, he got Ralph McGill, number 49, and about that time, Anthony Leonard came up. He had both of them. That was pretty good cut by Franco, too, to cut back on the inside. But nice block by Penny. Ray Penny was out in front of that one.
14-yard touchdown. Franco Harris, Steelers, on the scoreboard, their first touchdown of the regular 77 season. Roy Girella on to the conversion. It's good, and the Steelers lead 7-0. We are just on the way here in the second quarter, and we'll be returning right after this message. A capacity crowd of over 50,000 has watched Franco Harris put the Steelers out in front of the 49ers, 7-0.
Yeah.
Girella will kick off. Hofer, single safety for the 49ers. Girella gets a lot of foot into this one. Driving Hofer way back into the end zone. He bobbles it, and it'll be a touchback. 49ers will take over on their 20. We'll watch the touchdown again.
One of the kind of things that you really look for, you'll see that Hardman comes down, number 86. One of the old kind of option plays, but there was Penny coming out. Rocky Bleier came out too, number 20. Good blocking, good cut by Franco. That thing had to score from there. Right.
You said it.
All right.
He turns that corner. He can really separate people. Steelers on first and 10. Carrying the ball, Franco Harris over the left side. Gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. And if you wonder why the Steelers are all the way back at their own 45, watch this. A punt return. Jim Smith returning the ball for Pittsburgh. There's a clip. You'll watch number 59 of the Steelers. That, of course, Jack Ham. There he is against Skip Vanderbunt. That's the clip that brought the punt back. Second down and 6. The ball just short of the 50-yard line. Bradshaw to the air.
Oh, he's got him open down the middle.
And he's open. And hey, good hook slide at the 34 by Bradshaw.
He knew what he was doing after all those injuries Frank talked about that Bradshaw suffered last year. Frank told you about it at the opening of the telecast.
All right. He comes back. He has a guy open. The guy opens late. Some of the people criticize Bradshaw for making a move too quickly. And that might be, but he looked the guy he thought was covered. He tucked it down and ran. That's how he has gotten hurt. At least he's learned how to protect himself a little bit.
Well, Bruce Taylor took a shot at him, number 44 for the 49ers. On first and 10, Bleier over the right side. Good block in front of him.
Oh, that's nice.
Good running, Rocky Bleier. It's a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3, and it was Ralph McGill who made the stop.
Now you're seeing the Steelers execute the way they can. This is an extremely intelligent organization, and the best proof was in that run you saw that was in effect nullified by the penalty on the Jack Ham clip, because the youngster who did it, Smith, is a rookie from Michigan, and according to computer scouting, he wasn't fast enough really to make it, but the Pittsburgh people knew better. This kid is going to be a star. Jim Smith from Michigan.
Somebody Didn't program the computer properly.
All right.
Swan on a fake reverse. Bradshaw gets in a lot of trouble and unloads to Franco Harris.
Good job. Good job getting rid of that one.
Willie Harper was all over him.
And Washington was in there, too. Not a very good fake. That's the reason why they didn't fool anybody. Swan came along. You see Hardman coming out. Roll out to the outside. That's Cleveland Elam. I don't blame him. I'd run as fast as I could. That's a hard throw to throw. And actually, it's right on the money. Good protection. I mean, a good defensive move coming back in to knock that one away. Was that Ralph McGill, 49, that was him?
59.
Well, I was close.
Willie Harper.
Willie Harper.
Linebacker from Nebraska.
Okay.
3rd down and 3. Ball at the 27-yard line. Lynn Swan, top of your screen. Frank Lewis, bottom of your screen. Those are the wide receivers. Bradshaw turns ahead for a Steeler first down.
I'll tell you, he's got a lot of guts. Sometimes I think he's crazy. Looked a little like Greg Landry there.
He had the 2 defensive tackles and an outside, got outside 4-3. Their initial rushes are going to the outside, so he had the center really just fire straight ahead on the middle linebacker, following. A lot of times you have that. I would imagine it's called in the huddle, but a lot of times you can call it the line of scrimmage.
Incidentally, the center is 52, Mike Webster. Ray Mansfield, the old veteran, retired. He was a great one.
1st and 10.
Oh, yeah.
Franco Harris trying to reverse his field. Tripped up, gets away.
Not long.
And he runs into a lot of 49ers, and the 49ers are fighting back. They've had some good defensive plays, some fine pursuit.
And the guy who was in on Franco, that Franco finally evaded, but who contained him long enough for the others to get in there and get him, was 53, Tommy Hart, and he is one great player.
Cedric Hardman was really the guy, I think, Howard, too, that really gave him the first confrontation in the backfield, because he slowed him down and let the other guys scheme. But Tommy Hart, we've talked about them all. Cleveland Elam. Those guys are tough.
Like Bubba Smith was against you.
Franco Harris has come out. He's over the bench, and I think there's an equipment problem. But meanwhile, number 46, Reggie Harrison, is in. Four-year man out of Cincinnati. Flyer gets the call, and Flyer goes down at the 33. Again, if Couple is going to be 3rd in a bunch. Tommy Hart, again, in there to make the stop.
All right, we're going to take another look at it again. You see Elam, that's Tony Klein, the man that came over from Oakland, made the trip across the bay. He's kind of a swing man for him, playing a couple positions, both ends, and I guess he can fill in on the tackle sometimes, too.
And a great story, supposedly finished because of knee surgery. Oakland gave up on him. He had been a fine player there. He's been fine with San Francisco.
3rd down. 18 to go. Bradshaw, lots of time, fires into a crowd to Lynn Swan.
Oh, there was a crowd there.
Ralph McGill was covering back there with Tony Leonard. And that's going to bring up 4th down. And here's what wide receivers have to ignore if they're going to be great ones like Lynn. He knows he's in a bunch.
You need the courage. He gets scissored, Don. Watch.
But he does get scissored. I think he's going to have to use his tight end Cunningham more, because they're really opening up that middle. You saw Lewis try to clear out to the outside, number 43. They didn't go with him. There's a lot of room down the middle.
Roy Gerella, 50-yard field goal attempt. He was 4 of 7 between the 40 and the 50 last year. Long enough? No, it's good enough.
I tell you, he lined that one right over the center field fence, Frank. Low trajectory all the way, but enough distance.
You could not call it a basic classic, but it got the 3 points, and the Steelers move out in front 10-0.
One of your knuckleballs.
NCAA 1st and 10. Ball at the 25-yard line. Bradshaw right on time.
Oh, yeah.
Lynn Swan. Steeler first down. Tony Leonard covering.
Oh, yeah. Let's get things going.
If I were Tony Leonard, I wouldn't get too much involved. He's a rather brittle kid out of Virginia Union, though he did beat out the favorite Eddie Lewis for the position.
Frank, this kind of pattern, the crisp sideline pattern, just working out there, you could drill that ball. That thing is awfully hard to defend against, and I don't really think San Francisco has utilized that kind of pattern. They're trying to do those long crossing things. They can't work it. You got Lynn Swan out there. You see him right there. You can run those patterns. So does San Francisco. They have that kind of people.
I tell you, I would never leave that as long as Leonard is going to give Swan that much room to work underneath.
Right.
1st and 10. Franco Harris.
That's a touchdown play they had a while ago.
Rocky Blair coming out in front. That time there was so much open field they didn't turn up.
Beautiful thing to see Blyer lead Harris. That's a trademark. Back in the days when the Pittsburgh team was just forming, Harris didn't have Blyer blocking in front of him. He wasn't getting the huge chunks of yardage that he got from the day Chuck put Blyer into block for him.
Of course, Rocky had a 1,000-yard year last year, too, the second time in football history. I guess Zonka and Kick were the last ones to do it.
Kick?
Did I say Kick?
7-yard pickup for Franco Harris. He has 41 on the night. His second down and 3. The ball is at the 48-yard line. And Harris pulls up the middle. Tacks on 7 more yards down to the 45 is first and 10 Steelers. As you can see.
You know what, Frank? As good of offense as Pittsburgh has, they've been scoring a lot of points, too. Maybe we've overlooked the fact that that defense for San Francisco, they've actually kept them in the ball game as close as they are right now. The offense hasn't done much at all.
You got a strong point, and here's the man the burden falls upon. Jim Plunkett. Whittam hits it. Deep is Laverne Smith, but it will not get to him.
Oh, you look at there.
Did he catch it before it went out of bounds? Yes, he did. And it will be marked at the 50. Ernie Pugh.
Well, he's not having the most auspicious debut as rookie Laverne because he did drop one squarely in his hands, and that was an obvious mistake of judgment, catching that football. But it happens when you're young. Don remembers.
That happens when you're old.
I remember.
Steelers, first and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Their offensive unit, as we see it, remaining the same. Rocky Blair, Franco Harris, the setbacks. Wide receivers are Swan and Stallworth, the tight end, Benny Cunningham. Whoa. And Franco tripped up just over the line of scrimmage. Gets one. It'll be second down and 9.
Frank, I think Don made a critical point in the first half when he said he wanted to see Bradshaw use his tight end more. He didn't throw to him at all. Benny Cunningham is a big one out of Clemson. Of course, a potential great in the minds of the Pittsburgh group. Look at that, Franco Harris. More yardage by 25 than the whole San Francisco team. That's why they moved Larry Brown to tackle to get Cunningham in there and in.
On second down. Play action. Bradshaw wide open is Lynn Swan, and he goes down, picks up the first down. It was Mel Phillips playing well off Swan, and Swan just scares defenders to death, Don.
One of the things that you don't see, Frank, is they had kind of a fake screen set up to the outside, which pulls linebackers up, put him one-to-one on Phillips back there, had a lot of room to work in, made that outside move, and was wide open as we saw. But it was pretty well disguised back in that offense. They looked like it was going to be a screen pass out to the outside.
Steelers out of trouble. They began at their 15. Swan and Bradshaw brings them out to the 36-yard line, first and 10. There's that little play that scored earlier. Blair in front, Franco Harris looking for the hole. He finds it, gains 8 yards. It'll be second down and 2. Cedric Hardman in pursuit, along with linebacker Dave Washington, made the stop.
Got to think, Frank, as many times they've run that play, you don't see it that often in professional football, that they must know something. That time, Hardman did not go down the line as he had on 2 previous plays, but strung the play out, played to the outside. They didn't gain as much, so maybe they're really checking out Dave Williams. This is the guy that's a new linebacker.
8 yards is a bad D.
Oh, okay. Was it 8 yards?
Second down and 2.
It made so much sense till you told me it was 8 yards.
Well, we'll maybe have a chance to look at it again. Blair, inside handoff, big hole. And Rocky inside the 45-yard line of the 49ers, down around the 43. Dave Washington and Ralph McGill made the stop for the 49ers. And let's look at it from the end zone, and maybe you'll see that cross blocking up front.
Yeah, let's roll that one easy if we can, so we can see these guys where they're coming down the middle. Now, that's just really good. You've got the whole middle. You got Webster in the middle, Clack on one side, Mullins on the other. They're doing a number up there. They're blocking against guys that have a good reputation for not only rushing the passer, but pretty good up the middle, too. Right at old Skip Vanderbunt, the middle linebacker.
First and 10. Bradshaw.
Oh, that was holding over there.
Sure was, and they got it. Lynn Swan was held. The pass went out to Rocky Blair, but Lynn Swan, you probably didn't see it, was held downfield.
Anthony Leonard, I believe, was the man that had him, Frank. He either got him by a face mask or something, shoulder pad, turn him around.
Leonard's been playing him cautiously all night. Finally, that time he felt he had a hole.
Swan is the kind of receiver that will really scare you, though. He has the Not the sprinter speed, although he was a long jump champion when he was in high school in California on their track team.
Fluid. He's just so smooth, man. He makes everything look so easy, doesn't he?
He was telling me last night that when he goes down to the Superstars, and you did the first Superstar show this year, Giff, which is yet to be seen, of course.
Defensive holding, number 32.
There's the call. Let's show the hold in slow motion.
Mel Phillips.
I thought it was Leonard.
Well, there's a 2 in it.
That is Leonard.
It is Leonard.
Now, what's wrong with you,
Good
fella?
call, Don.
I still think it was Winston the clip back there a while ago, too, man.
Maybe you're
saw
right
that
after
thing.
that replay.
Put some stripes on you.
Yeah.
First down, inside handoff. Same play. Blyer pops it again down to the 30. This time a gain of 7.
Quick trap, Frank. They do the same thing up in the middle. I don't know whether the same kind of blocking that didn't catch it. Either a zone or a quick trap with that guard pulling and they're blocking against.
Well, the key guy is 52 Webster on that last replay. You talked about Webster. He's the guy who knocked off Cleveland Elam on the previous Flyer gain, and it looked like the same thing.
You know, Jimmy Webb, number 74 for the 49ers, is playing right in that spot. He's playing hurt tonight with a bad ankle. Steelers going right at him. They go again.
This time, Frank, they ran into the strength of that defense. It was an overshift. You saw a man on the nose of Webster, the center that we've been talking about. They ran into the strength of it. Weren't able to hold him off that way. Usually you see teams try to trap back, go into that open spot over the offside. They were shifted strong this way, and they ran into that direction.
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you did.
Sometimes I wish I'd never met Tom Landry.
3rd down and 2. Ball at the 29-yard line. The big man, Harris. Boy, when he doesn't run over him, he outruns them.
Yep. That's
First
the
down.
whole point there, Frank. How that big man can accelerate. Turn the corner if he has to. McGill made the tackle.
Saw him shaking his head. Said, "Where you come from, Franco?"
Take a look at it again. Harris has a lot of help from his friends, but he gets the first down just on his own speed.
All right, you got Clack, 50, pulling outside. Good block that time by Cunningham, 89, blocking down. Here's Franco coming back to the outside, and that was McGill, 49, that kind of rolled him out of bounds.
Steelers have used almost 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter. They start at their own 15. They're down at the 49ers' 25-yard line. Bradshaw to the air. And Stallworth was wide open. Terry, a little too much on it and a little high.
Yeah, a little bit off. But this is reflective of the Steeler team that you've grown accustomed to in the recent years. Grown accustomed to their pace.
2nd down and 10.
There's Del Williams, the man who made all those yards for San Francisco last year. This shows you what Pittsburgh's been doing defensively tonight. 9 rushes, just 8 yards. Must be a frustration. He's so great a runner.
Inside handoff. Flyer finds an opening, cuts back against the grain, gets 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. Tommy Hart pursued him there on the stop.
I was asking Rocky, Frank, yesterday about some of the new Pittsburgh people. Incidentally, they had a very impressive draft, again, despite the fact that they picked way down. I asked him about Thornton, the new back. He said, I'd rather not talk about them. After all, I'm in my 30s now. Just watch me play.
On 3rd down, ball at the 22-yard line. Bradshaw draws a crowd, and down he goes.
He ever.
Hustling in there, Willie Harper, number 59, and that will move the Steelers well back. And will we see Jarrella? Yes, we will. Speaking of impressive and Rocky Flyer, I know he was at that party you were at last night, Howard, where they raised how much for the Multiple Sclerosis Society?
$28,000. That's a remarkable evening, a remarkable community. It really is.
47-yard attempt. Jarrella has already hit from 50. Oh, and he nailed this one. Oh, that one was not a line drive. Roy Jarrella hits from 47 yards out, and the Steelers move out in front of the 49ers 16-0. Rather 13-0. Williams got 9, his 3rd down, a long one. Williams, the call again. Oh, did they do it? Great pressure, J.T. Thomas. Donnie Shell came up, and Jack Ham was there, and it was all over.
Frank, great defensive play, I think, by Shell, who really came from his safety position. It was a forced kind of defense. Let's see if we can take another look at it from the defense and see that them all closed. The play's trying to go to outside. Look at Shell coming in. He's backed up by Lambert. Man, there's just too many of them out there. Good move by Thomas, actually, to spin to the outside, too. And there's Jack Ham right there behind him.
Thomas reads and anticipates beautifully, comes up and hits well.
Different. Howard Cosell and Don Meredith. 1st and 10 Steelers. They begin at their own 24. Handoff. Franco Harris bobbled the ball. San Francisco's Mel Phillips has it. That doesn't happen often with Franco Harris. The 49ers have a break.
No, but it happened this time. First time the 49ers have really had any kind of field position in the entire ball game. If they can capitalize, we've got a Monday Night Football game.
Another one-run game.
Almost looked like some sort of confusion in the backfield there, but again, you see a great block right in the middle of that line by that Mike Webster again, number 52. He's pushing them around in there.
That was Skip Vanderbilt who put the hit on Franco Harris. 1st and 10, ball at the 22-yard line. Del Williams, quick toss. And maybe gets a yard out of a good defensive play. Jim Allen playing all over the field tonight. 2nd down, 9. Del Williams, right side. It's inside the 20 to about the 18, where it'll be 3rd down and 6. Donnie Shell, the safety who hits like a tank. And they're on the stop. Gene Washington, his best receiver, to the left.
Easy, Ernie.
Ernie Holmes zipping across there.
Easy.
All at the 24-yard line. Washington and Lash both go to the left. Tom Mitchell, the tight end, moved way out to the right.
Look out, look out.
That was Robin Cole.
Oh, boy.
The rookie from New Mexico. And they're going to call it incomplete.
But there you got an evidence of what we were talking about earlier in connection with Robin Cole. Sure, it's just another blitz, perhaps, but the quickness of the man and the size of the man, the strength of the man, he is ferocious.
They mentioned, Howard, he was a defensive end. He came in. Now, let's see if this is a pass.
All right. Well,
a semi-pass.
all right, you got to go back. Really, that was old Steve Lawson, that left guard sitting there. Somebody's supposed to at least bump that guy before he comes back in. They were trying to set up a quick screen out to the left.
He gave it one of those lookout blocks.
Yeah, look, but he didn't say look out. You got to bump him a little bit before he comes in there. That was old Lawson.
40-yard field goal attempt, Tom Whittam. Remember, last year, he was just a punter. He has done a lot of place kicking, a gifted athlete in many respects. Out of Northern Illinois. Back in 1972.
And Lambert and Cole. What a linebacking trio they're going to be with Taves, the #1 reserve. Taves started tonight, as we noted, because of his experience.
Kenny Harrison will hold. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work.
Oh, my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that play was not, repeat, not an advertisement for NFL football.
Jack Lambert was the one that hustled in and drilled with.
Produced Elliot Walker. Jim, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
They call you the mummy man. You wear about 30 yards of tape a game, right? With the various and sundry injuries. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Did you get hurt again?
No, not really.
Oh, really? You came through it okay.
He's a little sore. So is Art.